In life, there is suffering. There's many people suffering. And the problem is, when you're trapped in this existence of suffering, the only thing you know how to do is feel. And even though your logic tells you you should work out, you should do this thing that would help, you should ring the phone and talk to someone you care about, you just don't. You could, but you just don't. You lay in stagnation, and the walls get tighter, and things get harder. And before you know it, all you can think is, nothing works. So what did I do? What do I do when I'm in suffering? Yes, there are certain things I've put in place to help, but sometimes, when the hardships catch up, what do I do when I'm challenged? I caught myself suffering. And in that moment, I turned off all distractions, media, and luckily, I have my fire pit, and I sat by the fire pit. I allowed the clouded judgment almost to pass as I sat there with a pen and a pad. And when you ask yourself a question, you tend to get an answer. And I asked myself a question. I said, if I was the me who I want to be, who I've always aspired to be, what would I do in this moment right now? And as I just said, when you ask a question, you tend to get a response, even if it is subconscious. And the response I got was, well, first, I'd stop whining about it. Suffering is a trap that leads to stagnation. And I knew in that moment that that thought was accurate. And because I'd analysed that, and it was myself giving me the advice, if it was anyone else, I wouldn't have listened, I wouldn't have been able to implement, I wouldn't have been motivated. But because it came from a place within me, I smiled a little, and I thought, yeah, I need to stop whining about it. And then I did what my logic told me. I had the cold shower, I worked out, I did the breathing, I journaled. And within moments, half an hour, I felt great again. Motivated, strong, confident, clear. Sometimes, in order for the fog to pass, you have to drive through it. And your driving force is your thoughts. And the best bit is, even when you're controlled and surrounded by empty thoughts of pressure and stress and suffering, you can do one thing. You can ask yourself a question. If I was the me who I wanted to be right now, what would I do? Because then the pain just gets passed on to people I love. So this one doesn't need any explanation. Sometimes when you're overwhelmed, under pressure, and you're dropping forks on the floor, the best thing to do is to take a step back.